Welcome fans of the Mad Manga to chapter reviews that I hope to be doing as they come out. I will be looking at a script and reading a template for it, so let's get started. After the absolute carnage in the last chapter where Yazur finally bit the dust, and the whole Church of Assimilators arc came to a bloody but satisfying close, we're hitting this chapter, which is titled The Road Ahead. This one drops as we're celebrating the manga's 2-year anniversary on Jump Plus, and Otori Yusuke gives us exactly what we needed, a breather chapter that still moves the needle. No massive fights this time, but plenty of heart, setup, and that classic post-victory, now what energy. I'd say if we like downtime in certain places to where it was more slice of lifey, or maybe some certain One Piece islands and some earlier arcs, this is kind of that type of vibe, but let's break it down and get into it. Now we'll move on to the pacing and structure of the chapter, and the pacing is slower and more deliberate than the last few explosive chapters. Think a calm, reflective episode after a season finale. It opens with the immediate aftermath of the Daybreak battle, where we have wounds being attended to, the group is processing the win, and it flows into quiet character interactions and group recovery moments, then builds steadily into the chapter's core hook, which is deciding on next steps. Structurally, it's a classic traditional chapter, short focused scenes rather than sprawling action. We have beautiful wide panels of the survivors relaxing in their safe-ish spot, contrast hard with previous death matches. It doesn't overstay its welcome and feels like the perfect length for what it needs to do. The structure for this chapter definitely screams an end of an arc, start of a new one type of thing, and it doesn't really rush it too much. Now we'll move on to the character components of the chapter, and this chapter is loaded with character gold, especially in the downtime. We see the group finally getting a chance to relax, we see smiles, casual conversations, the weight lifting off their shoulders after the Yazur's defeat. It's refreshing to see everyone not in a constant survival mode. First we'll start with Alda, who gets some spotlight here. And yeah, I feel for the guy. He ends up staying behind with Luo, who is the obsessed former Yazur assimilator who's now with the group. Their dynamic is already giving awkward tension mixed with their potential depth. Her fixation on him from the church days makes for some funny, intense moments. Alda stepping up to handle that responsibility shows growth from his gladiator backstory and forced church days. Next, we'll move on to some points for John, who feels more grounded and reflective. Post his John Thunder Power unlocks, he's not just some raging horned beast, he's actually thinking ahead, and that's showing leadership in a calmer setting. Next, we'll move on to Pano, who shines in her usual confident, no-nonsense way with a hint of partnership. The chemistry between John and Pano as they prepare to head out together is excellent. You can feel the trust and the "we got this" energy. Overall, the chapter humanizes the cast after all the transformations, fights, and losses. We get emotional beats, humor, and quiet strength that makes us care even more. Next, we'll move on to the story progression and lore components that were revealed in the chapter, and story-wise, this is pure progression through transition. The immediate threat of the Yazur arc is wrapped, and the focus shifts on the long-term survival. The big hook on this one is that John and Pano are heading out to a supply run together. It's not just we need food, it's literally the road ahead like the title suggests. And either after they return or during this we will have events that set up the new arc. Because this trip won't just be a simple grocery run, I expect new locations, potential threats, and character growth on the road. The only question is it going to start with John and Pano, or is it going to start with the entire group after we get back and move on? The group splits logically. Some stay to hold down the fort and recover, while the power duo goes scouting and supply hunting. This creates natural tension and room for parallel stories. Lore-wise, it's lighter on massive reveals, as expected in a breather chapter, but solid on world building. We get insight into the post-invasion world's harsh reality, with limited supplies, the ongoing struggle for resources, and hints that the alien threat, and human remnants, is far from over. One thing I did like from this chapter was that they thought that potentially the alien invasion was causing the Earth to be uninhabitable. Luo's presence adds layers to the Adapter and Church of Yazur lore. We have former enemies integrating, and I guess we'll see if that's or not into the survivor group. Subtle teases about the bigger picture include what lies beyond their current safe zone, the state of the other human pockets, and how the alien ecosystem continues to evolve. Nothing earth-shattering, but it plants seeds perfectly for the journey ahead, especially the deterioration of the ecosystems. And for my final thoughts on the chapter, Chapter 50, The Road Ahead, is a masterclass in what a good transitional chapter should be. It respects the intensity of the previous arc by giving everyone, and us, in the room to breathe, while expertly setting up the next phase with the supply run hook. The character moments hit hard, the art delivers those emotional and atmospheric panels Otori is great at, and the Road Ahead title is spot on. It's not the flashiest chapter, but it's one of the most important for long-term investment in the series, not only for them, but for us as readers. After the high that we got from the arc and the last portion of it being last chapter, this feels like the calm before a brand new storm, and I'm here for John and Pano's new adventure on the road. For me, solid 8.5 out of 10. It does exactly what it needs to do without overstaying like most. But what do you guys think of the chapter? Did the Alda Luo dynamic surprise you? It didn't me. She was kind of very much hinting at that. My only surprise was Alda for me. Are we interested in seeing if anything will happen during the supply run? But drop your thoughts on all of that in the comments below, and I will see you in the next Mad chapter. All right, see ya.